Yo, 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 what's going on, y'all? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of Wos Speaks. I'm your host, Big Wos, aka Wosny Lambre. I'm back. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I took my birthday off. Things got a little hectic last week, Thursday. Went out to dinner. My lady took me to dinner. It was nice. Shouts to the people at Baltair out there in that Brentwood. Great steakhouse, great ambiance, great spot. Then a couple of my homies who actually also happen to be celebrating a birthday. We're doing a party out in Beverly Hills. It was a great time. Shouts to my man DJ Will Lifestyle and my man Mark Jackson. Not that Mark Jackson, but DJ Mark Jackson, South Central Zone. So yeah, shouts to those people. So yeah, ended up having to be like, look, man, ain't gonna be a birthday while I speaks, but we back. We're back, and on today's show, man, I mean, there's only one thing in the news, and it's Trump and this Doge situation. Um, I guess I'm not gonna lie, all the like lefties and people that I keep up with to like on my media diet that pay attention to what's happening were like, yo, yeah, this Doge thing is not like this. There's no way they're gonna be able to dismantle the federal bureaucracy. Like, it's just no way. There's too much sprawl. Like this power is too entrenched. They can't just come in and do anything. There's just no way this is gonna do it. But hey, man, I will be damned if they are not trying. They are trying their freaking best to do this, man. And it's been kind of breakneck to watch. And the thing is too, and I do want this all the time. The obvious answer is like, well, if you can go, like, how come Donald Trump is able to come in and immediately 3 weeks, a month into his regime, they're just getting so much things done. And the reality is all they're doing is dismantling and unwinding stuff, right? It's not as if they're passing a bunch of bills or even putting executive orders in that like go in and provide stuff for people. It's just like, all right, freeze DOE, right? We don't like the Department of Education. It's too woke. We don't like elite universities and their grant system and how wasteful it is. Like, lock that off. We don't like USAID. Lock that off. It is a lot easier to destroy than it is to build. I'll give them that. However, man, like just the activity and the breakneck pace and the fact that like this Project 25 stuff, like these folks spent 4 years between Trump's two regimes, and they just put their heads down and was like systematically, step by step, this is how we go about enacting our freaking policies. This is how we go about revolutionizing the federal government to our own ends. I mean, like Jon Stewart had Hakeem Jeffries, who is the most useless politician in the country. My God, never has a man had so much power and been so useless. God, I hate that dude. He is the worst. Jon Stewart had him on his show and was like, yo, fam, are y'all working on a Project 25 for the next time y'all get in power? Is anything like that in the works? And the answer was no. What is in the works is Hawk Jeffries, freaking hauling ass to Silicon Valley to reassure the rich tech people who are ardent, Democrat lovers and controllers. No, you guys are all good. We still love you guys. So they're back. So like the messaging is not going to change. The people at the wheel are not going to change anything. They've learned all of the wrong lessons from this. And in fact, they think like what they didn't do, they think they have a messaging problem, which obviously they do, but they have a credibility problem. They have a substance problem. They got a lot of problems that I think last on the list is messaging, which matters. But like you just have no credibility, dude. How can it be that like our whole thing is woke billionaire dick sucking? I just don't like, who is that supposed to appeal to? Identity politics, woke, DI is the savior. mixed with we love the billionaires too. Like, who is that supposed to, like, it's just a narrow group of people that would actually appeal to. But whatever, Hawk Jeffrey, whatever. I got off on a tangent, but it's like watching Trump and Elon do all of this shit. It really just begs the question, like, when Dems are in power, why are they never doing anything? Or why does it feel like they're never doing anything? Why does it feel like Trump and them are just doing whatever? They're just running roughshod over the freaking federal government. They basically made the House and the Senate wholly irrelevant actors. They are acting completely outside of these people's jurisdiction. Like, we don't even need to pass anything through Congress. We're just going to do what we want. And if the courts throw, some grease on the skids, then so be it. We're still going down. We're still knocking down stuff. Go fast and break things. And to be honest, man, it's kind of crazy. And look, man, this stuff has been really scary to me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's felt pretty scary to watch it all happening. But like, the only thing between these guys and a complete decimation of the regulatory state are the courts and whatever. So pull up this New York Times article for me, Jerv. Trump tests legal limits in pushing out federal employees. President Trump and Elon Musk, who is leading the administration's downsizing efforts, are pushing for quick and widespread layoffs, but the blitz has run into a complicated set of restrictions. So the one-sentence email from the White House arrived in Kathy Harris's inbox at 10:49 p.m. Monday, startling her when she woke up and read it early in the next morning. On behalf of President Donald J. Trump, I am writing to inform you that your position on the Merit Systems Protection Board is terminated effective immediately, wrote Trent Morris, the Deputy Director of the Presidential Personnel Office. Ms. Harris, a Democratic member of the little-known but critical panel that adjudicates federal employee discipline, was the latest official caught up in the Trump administration's effort to drastically reduce the size of the government workforce and reshape it with loyalists. So there's a multi-level strategy. They're targeting political appointees like Harris. They're just trying to do mass layoffs. They're trying to get people to voluntarily lay themselves off and, basically take some sort of 8-month severance pay. This is at USAID, EPA, DOE, Department of Veteran Affairs, it's all over the place. But Mr. Trump's blitz has run into a complicated set of legal roadblocks in targeting executive branch officials whose positions are supposed to be protected by different restrictions against arbitrary removal. Mr. Trump has defied these legal limits in a number of cases. The courts have already delivered setbacks to his efforts. Many of these systems have developed over decades, and they're not necessarily designed at one point in time to achieve a particular purpose, said Don Moynihan, a public policy professor at the University of Michigan, said the different laws protected federal employees that Mr. Trump has targeted all at once. Ms. Harris has sued Trump's administration to contest her firing and faces a hearing on Thursday in the case. And we continue on, and you can take that off, Cherv. Yeah, and so basically what you're seeing is that the only thing in the way of this guy is the courts. What you're not seeing are the Dems basically throw themselves in front of any of this stuff. Like, even, this nasty rally with Chuck Schumer. I'm not even going to bring that up. Chuck Schumer, like the least inspiring politician maybe of my life, was up there looking old and raggedy as hell. They held that little rally for USAID, but there was that's not no grassroots popular support. They're not organizing the grassroots to get against this. They're kind of just sitting by and being like, well, we're in the minority. There's nothing we can do, folks. And so, yeah, it's basically been up to the courts. And today, or yesterday, I think it was, Donald Trump got asked directly, yo, man, this is the shit that I got to say. And I hate giving Trump his props, but this fool talks to the press 3-4 times a week. It's freaking crazy. He just has a bunch of people in the Oval Office, and he's just lobbying questions. 3-4 times a week. Joe Biden was in fucking witness protection, dude, for 4 years. It's insane the amount of press this guy is availing himself to. It's just crazy. I'm sorry. Like, I just have to note that. Like, it's nuts the amount of press this guy does. Anyway, one of the reporters asked him, like, yo, bro, in the past, people like your vice president, JD Vance, on podcasts and such is like, yo, the courts can shove it. We'll tell them, go shove it. You and your army can stop us. The joke being the court doesn't have an army and has no actual enforcement mechanism outside of just, this is what we've all agreed that we do. When the courts, whether it be an appellate court, a district court, the Supreme Court, when they pass down a judgment, we basically all decide collectively as a society that we're just going to follow it. Like we're going to follow the rule of law. And, it's been speculated that Trump is going to be like, yo, screw the courts. But he got asked directly. He was like, look, if the courts like strike me down, I've always followed court rulings. We'll try to appeal and we'll move on, but we're going to follow what the courts say. And that's what he's saying right now, which I guess, we can collectively breathe a sigh of relief on that front. But yeah, bro, this is where we're at. The House is about to propose $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid, which obviously is healthcare for our most vulnerable, poorest Americans. They're proposing that cut. Just gross. And of course, we're getting ready for them to pass the second Trump tax cuts, which is just hilarious. The party of fiscal conservatism and, deficit hawkery and blah, blah, blah. They're proposing a freaking spend. That's what a tax cut is. It's money that we can't spend on the deficit. We're giving back to literally the richest people in our country, the people who need it the least. This is Republicanism 101 in a nutshell. But listen, man, it's hilarious. And I think people might be confused as to why is Elon so interested in this? Why is Mark Andreessen, scumbag VC dude, Silicon Valley scumbag? Why is he going on Rogan and attacking the CFPB, which they're also trying to destroy? They're trying to destroy the regulatory state. That's it. They don't want any referees or umpires. They want unbridled, unregulated, unfettered capitalism. And so the best way to do that is to destroy the regulatory state within the government. And so EPA, get the hell out of here. Department of Labor, oh no, we're going to destroy any worker that tries to unite and stand up to us. No, we're going to systematically destroy them, and we're going to ensure that there's no government apparatus that can intervene on their behalf. It's all like, it's just obvious. It's not to the betterment of Americans. And the sick part of it is that, like the Democrats before them, they use DEI and woke rhetoric. In their case, it's anti-DEI and woke. In the case of Hillary Clinton, it's even if I broke up the banks, that wouldn't end racism. Dumb shit like that. But it's for the same thing. It's like you use these cultural wedge issues in order to go out and do the bidding of the rulers of our society. That's it. That's the game, folks. The reason why you want to destroy the regulatory state is so that there are no guardrails on the raping and pillaging they want to do of the American economy. And so that's why you got Elon. That's why you got Elon talking about we're gonna, USAID is spending millions on condoms for Hamas and all of this crap. They try to dangle this shiny, anti-DI stuff. And, to their credit, and I said this up here. No, you ask the average person, like, yo, should we be sending hundreds of $billions of quote unquote US aid abroad while eggs cost $50? Most people are going to be like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And so there's a sort of evil genius to their tactics here. I won't deny that there's a level of strategic competency here. But it's just the same. It's like they dangle this cultural stuff. They talk about like, oh, DI and trans athletes and all of this culture war bullshit. And the whole thing is give it back to the oligarchs. It's no different than Hillary Clinton. It's no different than the Democrats and their insistence on this identity politics shit, their insistence on the culture war stuff, their insistence on the kente cloth kneeling. It's all of that stuff to get you distracted by that, to be like, oh my God, he's racist and is this and is that. And of course, I'm not saying racism isn't a bad thing that we shouldn't be trying to get past, but I'm sorry. It's not as impactful as, obliterating the regulatory environment so that these guys can crash our economy just like they did in 2008. Like Bill Clinton passed Glass-Steagall, which just in case you don't know what that is, it was basically, there used to be a rule where like, the investment bank arm couldn't be connected to the mom and pop bank. Right? Like the gambling, Wall Street, crazy shit that they do on the stock market, investment banking, etc. All the risky stuff they do can't be married to the normal, all right, I got a savings account, I put stuff in banking. Bill Clinton, of course, the king of neoliberalism, my God. Of course, under his watch, we passed that act and obliterate that restriction and regulation. Not even 10 years later, these motherfuckers crashed the global economy, guys. Like, this is what's at stake here. Like, yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So, like, yeah, like, it's going to be hard to sound the alarm bells on this thing in a certain respect because the Democrats are utterly just incapable of any communication to the average fucking person. But, like, it's going to be hard to sort of sell to people this idea of, yo, like, I know you hate you feel like the government is full of waste, and it is. It's full of bloat, and it is. At the same time, like, this shit is important because, like, I get it. Like, in a business, you want to be efficient and we want to run it like a certain way, but like, when we don't regulate these folks, economies crash. When you destroy the EPA, like, these people are poisoning folks left and right anyway. It gets even worse than that in terms of water supply and stuff like that. Like, we need this stuff because these people can't be counted to self-police. If it's going to cost them a dime to police, if the choice is between their bottom line and your health, their bottom line and the global economy, we know which side they're going to pick, guys. Like, this isn't even, like, they're not going to do it themselves. We know that. And so there needs to be a referee in between this thing. And so, yeah, that's what these guys are going after. And so far, like, yeah, the courts are like, but this is the thing, though. Like, in the meantime, yes, the courts are going to stop them, but that system is slow. And in the meantime, they're just destroying things that are going to be hard to build back up. And so this method that they're taking, it's quite scary. And y'all know I don't come up here to be some alarmist about Donald Trump and the goddamn GOP. But what they're doing long term, bro, is going to be disastrous if they're actually able to implement. I'd say even 40% of the shit they want will be long term disastrous. Because all of this government running like a business. Like, if Apple doesn't run this shit like a business enough, all right, they have a slow quarter. They don't move some iPhones. They move a couple less MacBook Pros. Okay. That's what it means to screw up when you're Apple. Okay. Running it like a business. Running the government like, bruh, we're talking about the safeguards that keep society intact. So we'll see. And this is just my favorite part of it, the hypocrisy of it all, where Elon Musk is basically not even kind of double dealing. Like, the double dealing is so plain and so obvious. And I got to give a shout out to my guy, Ryan Grimm, who, I'm not going to lie, y'all need to subscribe to Dropsite, the Substack. Him and what's his name? Jeremy Scahill. indispensable. These guys are incredible. I literally think they're doing some of the most important work in the fucking media today. I don't say that lightly. Like Ryan Grimm is just like, honestly, like he's a journalistic hero as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying he's like a god or anything, but in terms of like journalism and like lefty warriors, like a true and blue left guy, left populist guy, nobody holds a torch to Ryan Grimm on a journalism tip. I'm telling you, this guy's a beast. Anyway, throw this up there, Jerv. Yesterday, drop site Ryan Grimm and Jack Paulson put up a piece update. Armored Tesla forecast to win $400 million contract from the State Department after Trump got elected. So Elon Musk, who is allegedly in there to cut government waste, is also himself procuring government contracts. It's the definition of conflict of interest. There's just no other way to read this. So here we go. The State Department procurement forecast revised as of late December 2024, which is less than 2 months ago, y'all, lists Tesla as the recipient of the largest expected contract, with Marco Rubio's department planning to buy $400 million worth of armored Tesla. The award is targeted for Q4 and is forecast to last for 5 years. The procurement forecast is listed as having been modified on December 13th, 2024, a month after Donald Trump's election. The State Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment under the heading extent competed. The document reads merely TBD, meaning to the extent that they competed on this bid is to be determined. So like, let's not pretend it was some competitive process where a bunch of firms that were like, yo, we can do armored cars too, and we can deliver it cheaper than Elon. Nobody got a chance to do that. The government handed this motherfucker $400 million contract. Okay. Mind you, he's got 15 billions in contract right now that we know of. Total from the US government. This is the guy taking a red pen to the governmental budget, a budget from which he's directly being paid from. You cannot make this fucking level of corruption up. Okay? All right, cool. You can take it down. So Ryan Grimm and them report this. New York Times pick it up. MSNBC pick it up. Like, it goes crazy. This is nasty work. This is nasty work. The guy who's up here doing all, like, this is nasty. This is just an obvious hatchet job. Like, he's robbing the freaking public blind. This is our money. Nasty work. So, you know, every now and again, y'all, we get some good news up here. Every now and again, we get some good news. You can put that up for us, Jerv. The State Department suspends plans to buy armored Teslas. Yeah, and you can't, like, this is drop site. This is the work at drop site, man. So vehicles made by Elon Musk company were on a purchase list issued before Donald Trump was inaugurated and before Mr. Musk became one of the president's top advisors. The State Department said Thursday it had put plans to buy armored electric vehicles on hold after reports that the $400 million offer would go to Tesla, whose chief executive, Elon Musk, is one of President Donald Trump's most important advisors and supporters. The agency pushed back against suggestions that the purchase was designed to benefit Mr. Musk, saying in a statement that the plan stemmed from a request by the Biden administration to explore interest from private companies to produce armored electric vehicles. The solicitation is on hold, and there are no current plans to issue it. All right, you can take it down, Jerv. So there's the ball game. Hand in the cookie jar right there moment. But this is not even the tip of the iceberg, folks. Not even close. But this is where we at with it, man. This is where we're at. It's just a straight cash grab by, again, it bears mentioning, the already richest people on the planet. And all you will ever hear about entitlement, stuff like Social Security and Medicare and even Medicaid. Oh, it's disgusting government handout. It's a handout. It's disgusting. Government bucks are icky. You should never want to touch government dollars. Yuck. It's disgusting. That's all you ever hear. Except for when these freaking assholes are getting their palms greased. It's amazing. That's all Elon cares about. He's being sued. He's being sued by the federal government for how he's treated his workers. Like, that alone should exclude him from this fucking job, bro. And that's not to mention the regulation, these other regulations. And so, of course, he wants to gut this stuff to his own benefit. That's the game. Like, this idea, and again, the Democrats can't even, like, they're being handed a gift. Donald Trump is being puppeteered by a clown, a dude who is so obviously clownish and a scammer. He's being puppeteered by this dude. But no establishment corporate Democrat can credibly come out and just excoriate that class of person out of hand. Because guess what? They're suckling at the teat of some different billionaires. So they can't discredit them as a class. And by the way, Americans are very suspicious of the ultra rich. It's not hard to make this argument against these folks, but they can't. The infrastructure of the party is such that they're so married to these donors, bro. They're so married to the big money. They can't even call out the bullshit, even as it's plain as day. They can't even do it because it's hypocritical. They know they can't talk out of one side of their mouth that Elon Musk is a problem. On the other side of their mouth, Hakeem Jeffries going to fondle these dudes nuts, okay, to make sure they know that the Democrats still support them. And so this is where we are. You know, I hate to end on, such a negative note, but we got to keep it 1,000. This is what's going on. Anyway, that's our show for today, folks. Shouts to my guy, producer John Gervais, on the ones and threes, always keeping the wheels going on time. Reluctantly, I got to give a shout out to Gervais Birds. They won the Super Bowl. Yeah, they didn't just win. They goddamn mopped the floor with Pat Mahomes. My God, that was a drubbing. Jesus Christ. So we got to give it up to Jerv and the damn Birds and everybody in Philly. It's been a fucking week-long party over there, Gervais explaining to me in pre-production. Nothing makes me sicker to know. But hey, their team won. They fucking smoked the Chiefs. They were clearly the best team in the NFL. I don't even think there's not even an argument that wasn't the case. Like, the idea that the Bills or the Ravens would have beat this team is bullshit. These guys were excellent, and they deserved it. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.